of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to approve the agenda for this evening. Motion to approve and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Motion to approve the council minutes from the regular meeting of July 1, 2013.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Dave, second by Craig. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Claims, bills in between. Motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Dave, second by Mr. Norton. Any comments or questions? Motion to approve is on the table. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Current claims, need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Dave,
Second.
second by Mr. Norton. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Covered. Communications from the public, Tim Moyer.
Council, good evening, neighbors. I'm here on behalf of Honor and Our Heroes Committee with Don Ackerman with bringing the wall in. And at the last city public meeting we were at, there was a question with the porta potties. I did contact Center Sanitation with their knowledge in venues and events of this scale. Their recommendation was 20 porta johns. They are willing to donate 10 of those on top of manpower. Now, that includes them coming down whether it's 2, 3, 4 times a day just to dump them and pump them. What they won't cover is the other 10 porta johns, which is $1,400. So what I'm looking for is a commitment from the city, from you guys, to cover that expense. We have been out fundraising hand over fist, left and right, and as you guys all know, the ball is coming up here shortly. We are very limited on fundraising. With this being a large concern and a public safety issue with bodily fluids and et cetera, I'm asking for a commitment from you guys, and if we can't raise those funds, will you guys cover that $1,400 expense?
I make the motion that we cover that.
Second.
Marty, do you see any problems with this?
Motion to pay the $1,400 that's needed for the additional 10 porta potties.
Thank you.
And sanitation is donating 20 or 10 plus the manpower to move them
Correct.
and clean.
Correct. And they will be sending a gentleman down each morning. We've got to provide a spotter that'll check them at noon, and at 4 o'clock we're required to have two spot checks. So, and it takes them about an hour to come in. There are on there a few other things which I'll have Don speak on about golf carts and your guys' float for the parade, which would only take a couple seconds. So I'll just pass that on to Don.
We had a motion and a second to approve this payment.
Sorry, guys.
All in favor of the payment?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Don?
Thank you, guys.
I'll just be quick. We've got the traffic situation figured out. We're concerned about handicapped people that are going to come and see the wall. My generation, those of us who were there, and be pretty woke up. Anyway, we would like to see if we could get some golf carts from you to follow the bid for the Worthy Park, bring them down the city owns it. Well, I thought it would be a great opportunity for the city to put a big sign on the back of these golf courses, talking about the greatest golf course in the North American continent. You ought to come golf here, and we'd be hauling the handicap board out where they need to be, but I thought it'd be good publicity for you on one side. So, I guess I'm coming to you and asking for about 4 golf carts to make sure that we can get the handicap moved from place to place, so they can get to the wall back and forth.
We would obviously get these golf carts from the golf course. And Harley, do we have any problem during that period of time to have those carts down here?
I'll have to check and see what's scheduled out there. Right off, I wouldn't know, but if there's no objection by the council, we can sure direct that to happen.
And who's going to man the golf carts?
That will be my staff.
Your staff is going to man the golf carts. Okay. Do we need a motion?
If there's no objection, that's something that I could direct Kathy at the golf course to do.
Is there any objections from the council members? Any comments?
No, if we're gonna make this,
I think it's a real good idea.
if we're gonna make this a good event, we need to go out of our way to support it.
So you have no funds from the council. I think we should go ahead.
I'll just make sure that we don't have any tournament conflicts or anything like that out there, and I don't think we do, but I've not looked that far down the schedule.
I spoke with the golf course today, and I'm just waiting for a call back from Kathy, because I kind of want to just kind of know what we were up against, if they had any plans, but
Yeah, Kathy was off today, so I'll have to wait till tomorrow.
And we can get that set up tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll check back. Thank you. One other very important thing. This parade is getting very, very big. We talked to some council members last 2 weeks ago. I would like to see our city represented in the parade that's going to go through town on the 31st at 4:30 when the wall comes in. We're going to have live TV coverage, and I would like to see all of you on a float represent your district, etc. I just think it's important that as a city, with this big event going on, all the people showing up, that we do. Yes, I do. I think I need to see it.
So I'll practice my way.
But I just want you to think about that, because I think it's important. I really do. And that's all I have, unless you have some questions. Everything's coming together. These are the last couple of issues we have we need to work with. I want to thank the city. But most of you don't know how much the city works with us on this. We've bent over backwards and got everything done.
Where are we at with those dumpsters, Don? Those roll-offs?
Yeah, we haven't finalized that.
Okay.
You
Well, I
know,
was
we
gonna
know
talk
we're
with
gonna
Doug.
stay. We're good.
So you want the city to have a float in the parade. Who can we get to handle that, Harley?
I thought I heard him say a float from Ward 1, Ward 2.
No.
That's what I thought I heard him say. He wanted a big parade, so.
I just think you should, I think you should all be there. You know, it's an opportunity to be smiling face. And how you do it is, I just think we should do
Is there, how can we go about doing something like that, Craig? Have you been involved in any of these?
Just get a trailer and a pickup, either something for them to sit on or us to sit on.
Them?
Somebody know anybody has an old hay trailer?
You use a car trailer, bunch of those. I got 2 of them, Dwight has one. We could even pull it with an old tractor. It'll stay running.
You don't think it'll stay running, Wes?
I don't know.
We could do that with some hay bales and make a banner.
You can take that one under advisement.
No, I think she's right, hay bales are a lot safer than chairs.
You can all be taken over.
You just decorate it up, city council, names all over it, but however, just represent.
Aren't you gonna do that?
We're, I've got a lot.
I thought you was gonna do that. For all the city does for you with your mud run and stuff, I thought you would make our float for us.
If I wasn't busy already in this, I'd be glad to help you, but.
Just kidding.
I think, as far as banners and stuff, we might throw this at the Boys and Girls Club. Let them make some banners for us.
Do that or talk to Betsy.
We got a nice big hot spring sign, me and Craig seen out at the Murph.
Yeah.
Welcome to historic hot springs.
That would.
A picture of Evans Hotel on it.
There you go. Good thing.
I'm sure we can put something together.
And I know Christy Nolan was invited, she's at.
So what you say?
On advisement.
She get a sit on our float? Is that what you're saying?
I think if she's on it, it's her fault.
Do we get a sit on her float, you're saying?
Tell us again, John, what time does the parade begin? Where's it starting? Where's it ending?
Ray Palmer's in charge, and the float, the parade will start right here and end at Centennial. And it's really large now, there's a lot of people.
It starts right here.
It starts right here.
Okay.
And we're just gonna go out and go straight to Centennial Park.
Do we have coverage for the police to stop traffic for it?
I'm sure Mr. Palmer's got that.
Okay.
He's working with
DJ?
Marty.
Marty,
Marty Campbell.
and he's got all that. I'm sure that's all. I don't know, if I haven't done that, but he's got that. In fact, he did tell me this would be the first parade at Hot Springs that is legal.
That was little.
Because they went into the state and got it approved. And I don't know if that's true, I'm sure you guys have done it legally before, but.
I'm sure that we have. We don't want to mention that we haven't.
But having said that.
Having said that, we will do what we can to get a vote together for the city council with hay bales, not chairs.
Any parade on a state highway requires a permit from the State Department of Transportation is what it's being referred to here.
So, but I mean, it is going to be fairly large. The basic scenario, I don't want to use all of your time on the basic scenario, is when we come in out of Old Ridge, out of Chadwell, the wall will call us and go.
Okay?
And we'll jump in. We'll get here by the time the parade is there.
Okay.
So, the wall will be the last thing to come in.
Parade starts at 4:30.
You're gonna have enough to line up on the Village Center on here? or-
Probably go up, Galveston, I don't know. It's big.
I don't know. How many folks and things are they expecting? 100?
I would say because of that, plus some questions.
Walking, marching band, et cetera.
When they had Trampuses thing, they were all the way out to the bypass. Did they look beyond that? When they had that memorial for a firefighter?
No,
They
it
started,
was way
it
up.
was
way out.
plumb up to the bypass.
I just think, I'd like to see you involved in, city council will do a great deal of this.
Well, we'll do what we can, put something together. And I'm glad that we have gone ahead and supplied the funds for the porta potties. Okay, anything else? I have a request from Heidi for the 211.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Yeah, I'm Heidi Bell Casey. I'm with 211 Helpline and the Black Hills. And I guess I know we've made a funding request to you folks, and I just wanted to come in with you a little bit about what we do. Is anybody very familiar with 211? I found that a lot of people are not. Not so much.
Not really.
Okay, well, we're a United Way agency, and we operate a 24-hour, free, confidential 24-hour information line. People can go call any time of day, 365 days a year, to get answers about social service agencies, government services, and nonprofit organizations. We also have an online database that has all those resources listed there. We our call center is actually in Sioux Falls. They take calls in the Sioux Falls area and also in 6 Black Hills counties here. So every year the calls that come in are categorized and broken out, and then at the end of the year they pull out all the ones like from the Black Hills. So this is a report about the calls that we had come in last year just from the Black Hills area. And I just thought I'd go over some of the highlights of that with you so you kind of get a picture of what we're doing. Last year, if you look in the middle, last year we took almost 8,500 calls from the Black Hills area. That was down from the year before, but that's actually kind of a national trend. We, at the same time, are having way more people go online to search our database. We had over 92,000 individual database searches last year statewide. So all the information they can get it, they're just looking for it a different way. And we have started asking callers for their zip code so that we can break it out a little better where they're calling from. And we found out that there were more people calling, I think more people calling from the Southern Hills than we realized, but also maybe more callers from the Southern Hills as well last year because our numbers there were up quite a bit, 720 from the Southern Hills area last year. This chart here on the left shows how the calls broke out. Most of the calls that we take are for basic needs, people that need help with housing or food, shelter, transportation, those things. The second category includes things like government services. If someone has a question about, how do I get my driver's license renewed and what do I need to take with me, that would fall under there. Donations also fall under there. If you have somebody that maybe has some used furniture they want to donate, but they need to know who could take it, they can call 211 and find out. Mental health and substance abuse is the third most common call that we get. Most of the calls that we take, more than half, are for information, where the person knows what they need, they just need to know an answer. Like maybe they want to know what the boys club hours are for the summer, or as I was hearing all the stuff about the parade, I was thinking, anyone that's curious wants to know information about, an event like that too. If we have the information, we can provide that if they're questioning when it starts or where it's going to go, that kind of thing. Referral, 37% of the calls are for referral. That's where a person needs some help, they just don't know where to go. Maybe they need some help paying their rent that month and they need to know if there's somebody that can help them. So our call people can refer them. Listening and support. We also answer the suicide crisis hotline for the entire state. So we answer those calls as well as the 211 calls. I'm not going to go over all of these, but we do now use the same categories for all of our calls as other 211s in the country, so we can compare kind of apples to apples, how our call percentages compare. And some of those are kind of interesting if you have a chance to look over them, I guess. The top keywords, I guess, that were used for the Black Hills area specifically for online searches last year: mental health and substance abuse is first, food, and then rent and housing. And we've also tried to make a bigger push this year with helping out with some disaster information. I come down and met with like the Fall River emergency management folks and that to try to get information out if there is something going on, evacuations or flooding or anything else. The idea is that 211 can provide that information. We're already staffed. Maybe prevent some calls to 911 or wherever people call when they're not sure where else to call. So that's kind of just a little overview of what we do, and I'm glad to answer any questions if you have any. Otherwise, we just kind of wanted to come down and let you know we're here, and we sure appreciate any support that you guys could provide to help us continue offering this.
So as I understand it, it's already been explained that you need to come to our budget
I believe.
hearings
yeah.
and try to get into the budget somehow.
She has provided a letter that'll go in your budget packets when you start that process.
Okay.
With the request, and I don't know if you want to share what your initial request.
I think it's $1,000. It was $1,000. We do get money from United Way, Southern Hills United Way, as well as Rapid City and Northern Hills. And otherwise, we operate a lot on grants and donations and that kind of thing.
Okay.
All right. If you
Any
have
questions,
any questions,
Michelle?
I'd be happy to try to answer them.
The calls have tripled over last year from the Southern Hills, so we're getting a lot of calls through the 211.
Trying to do a better job of getting the word out too. I know I left a poster and some cards and different things, and I think as the word gets out, we're just going to have more.
How far south does this go? It says Southern Hills. It stop at Hot Springs or go
Well,
the Nebraska line? Or
No,
what?
we do Fall River County. So we cover Fall River, Custer, Lawrence, Meade, Butte, and Denver. And then, as I said, that we asked for the suicide crisis line for every county in the state. So, and if you do have a chance to go online and look in our database, you can search by community so you can find the things that are right in your community.
Well, we'll be looking forward to hearing from you again at budget time.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.
Time of year. Favorite time of year. Thank you.
Are there any more communications from the public? Gary?
Representing Main Street Arts and Crafts Festival Committee, we'd like to thank the city for helping us out. Parks look really good, and little things like putting up the banner that goes up the week before. But we'd like to thank you for the help there. Mark Lewinsky luckily worked with us to get the fountain up and running before the festival started. I think it was like one day before that, but anyway, we got her going and it's limping along. There's some other problems there, but hopefully the police and reserve will keep an eye on what's going on with the fountain. Electricity, we had some small problems there, but maybe before the wall comes in, somebody check that out to make sure that the ground faults are ready to go and there's enough power there, because I don't know exactly what's going on with the part for the wall too. Definitely try to get in and out of the park as quick as we can and keep it as clean as we can. I think garbage containers are gone Monday morning, but we try to get in and out as quick as we can that way. The vendors, definitely the sales that they do at the festival, Hot Springs gets some tax money out of them too. So there is tax money that comes back that way. Plus took a little survey and more than in the past, the vendors are using our motels. We've got a lot of them are close by and we go home, but there were quite a few motels that were used this year. We still have money in our budget, because we do have a line item in our budget for park improvements, but we still have money to go toward a drinking fountain once one is ordered. Next year, and probably for a number of years, the festival won't be the same time as Miss South Dakota. So, just wondering if the possibility exists of maybe one other activity that weekend that would kind of help bring a few more people to town. Because we spend quite a bit of money on advertising to try to get Rapid City to stop here before we go to the lake and things like that. But, other than that, thanks again for the help. We'll be around next year.
Thank you. Any more communications from the public? Don?
Yep. I'm glad you mentioned lights. We do have an issue on lights. Do we have the diesel powered light units? Or do you
Emergency management has some down at Fall River County.
Okay. Because we're gonna need to light the wall tonight, a little bit later, so I'll get with them.
Frank Maynard.
Okay, got it, and we'll get with, thank you, that's what I needed to know. That's one of their requirements tonight.
We do have a hearing scheduled at 7:15.
Oh, sorry about that. We better get into that. Well, we have that hearing with regard to the restaurant liquor license at the old Meat Casino Family Restaurant.
A little bit of background, the city has not issued a restaurant liquor license in the past, so the board will need to consider a fee for that liquor license, and whatever you decide will be the fee for restaurant liquor licenses in the future.
Lori Enriquez,
Yes.
did you want to speak a little bit with
Sure.
regard to this?
Yeah. My name is Lori Enriquez. Me and my husband just moved here from New Jersey. We're both chefs in New York City. And we got married here last winter. And we fell in love with this little town. It's so beautiful, and my parents live here, and we have family, and we want to make this our home. And we want to share with you all the things that we've learned. You know, my husband's from Nicaragua, and I was in the Navy for 10 years, veteran. And so we bought this restaurant, and we're really excited. We're really excited to share our Hispanic food and our culture and everything that we've, all the experiences that we've had. Along with these experiences comes alcoholic beverages, and it's not intended for a full bar, but just to experience some of the good things that we've had. Like sangrias, Spanish sangrias, white sangrias. We have our own rendition of a sangria, which is just like wine, you know, with a little rum, soaked with fruit. You know, classic margaritas, blood orange margaritas, mojitos, pina coladas. We have no intentions of having a full bar. You know, people coming in to get drunk and spend a whole bunch of money. We just want the time. We just want people to come in and say, wow, this is awesome. This is great food with a great beverage. I want to have a good time. And so we would like to request that price to be at the lowest, which is $1 per person in the population in the city, as it taking a lot of time and a lot of money to start a restaurant. We've managed restaurants, both me and my husband. We've never owned our own, so this is a big venture for us. We're so excited to do it. So, but this is my request, and I have a menu of menu. If you want to pass that down, of things that we would like to share with this town and everyone who comes here.
So it's basically just an enhancement for your food.
Yes.
And there will be full compliance with the 60/40 rule.
Yes, actually, it's 60/40 rule is a bit even much for my taste. I would rather it be 80/20 is what I told my insurance company for the liquor license liability. And I'm hoping to not even go close to that. I just would like someone to come in. I want a margarita with my burrito. You know, oh look, it's blood orange. You know, you can't get those this time of season. How should you do it? You know, like I want people to just have a enjoyable experience.
So you're looking at probably 12 bottles of different kinds of liquors for what you're looking at?
Not even. Probably some tequila, rum, and maybe a little bit of vodka. You know, not 12, definitely not. 5 at most.
Okay.
That will be purely and simply up to you, you know, with regard to
What I'm serving.
how you're going to run your establishment. Do we have any more comments from council? This is a hearing, it's an open hearing for the public, so if anybody from the public wants to make comment, we're open for that.
I know it's not the same thing, but I just know how much the other bars pay for liquor licenses.
What was the price on the last one?
25,000.
Can I say one?
Oh, yeah,
I understand that's the price, but I am not out to run a bar.
I know that.
And I serve food, and I want to serve a great food and have a great experience. And I think this town needs a boost for business. And I'm hoping and praying that this, not only for me, but for future businesses that come in here, find it as an incentive. Oh, they have a good price for a restaurant liquor license. And it'll be a good incentive for them to come here and want to do business here. And
But don't you think it'd be a slap in the face for the other restaurants that pay $25,000 for their liquor license?
I don't think it would be a slap in the face. I mean, if they're serving liquor and they have to serve liquor because they have to pay for it, because they had to pay $25,000, so they have to serve a lot of
Well,
liquor.
I don't think we need to pay to use the $25,000, but I don't think it ought to be $3,000 either.
The city had obtained a license because a business left or didn't renew it. I don't know the history totally there. And the city took bids, and the one they had accepted a few years back was $15,000 for the bid that the city had accepted at that time. And I think it was Jenny's Recreation, I think is the one
But that was for a full liquor license for a
That's
bar.
full-fledged bar liquor license. Yeah.
I even don't think we ought to need to go that high.
This is going to be the first restaurant license will be issued in Hot Springs, and we're hoping that in doing this, that we may be able to get a couple of others to go along with it. The Admin and Promotion Committee discussed this last week, and the recommendation that we put together was looking at the $3,711, which would be $1 per population, versus the $15,000 that Jenny's was sold for. And what we did was split the difference on that, and the recommendation from the admin and promotion was $9,300.
I'd go along with that.
It's gonna be one of the cheapest licenses in the hills, I think.
Yeah,
They'll
So,
actually do
but
some.
it ain't for a full-fledged bar.
Right.
That's the only reason I'd go along with
But
that.
how are you gonna distinguish that? Are you gonna keep track of how many drinks she sells?
I
How-
have to give them-
We have to
Yeah.
report to us that.
The state statute has some regulations that have to be followed on reporting either through the city or through the State Department of Revenue. And if one's approved, we'll definitely figure out who she has to report to, but there is definite monthly reporting, I believe.
Reporting is very stringent on these restaurant bar.
yes, it is.
Is something that, you know, you have to do quite a bit of paperwork.
Kurt has a question.
Fall River County passed the same license for food restaurant bar license, and they went with $1 per resident
For the county.
for the county.
Okay.
So 7,000 is what it was for the county. And the other places that are paying more for their liquor licenses, they can certainly apply for the same type of license that she is. They're just gonna have to meet the same standards.
Right.
You know, the 60% has to come
60-40
from
rule.
food.
Right.
60/40 program was designated for restaurants, and it was to eliminate smoking and laundry inside facilities, to promote more so food businesses. So, they're pretty stringent.
The mayor's party comments, he's gone for a while, but he wanted to see something somewhat lower, and he said, you know, his comment was, is it better to have 2 or 3 or 4 restaurant license out there at a lower rate, or have one at a higher rate?
He should have been here and said that, then he don't count.
There's still laws on how many you can have per population. I mean, that wouldn't mean every restaurant you have in town could even do it. There's only so many liquor licenses.
That's what I'm talking
Regular liquor licenses, yes, but restaurant license, there is
There's a
no limit.
difference, like I said, the 60/40 program was developed for restaurants. It's not a full-blown liquor license like you think it was.
And can I ask you, how is that for you? Is that acceptable to you?
The price, for me personally, it's still high. I put my heart and soul into this business, and I would like to see it lower. I would. This is something I'm very passionate about. For this town, I want this town to be my home, and I want you guys to be my family. And I want to call this place not for 6 months or for a year and put a whole bunch of capital into this business. I want to make it workable so that I can have a really good product, and so that I can take my capital and I can put it into my employees, and I can put it into the food that I'm buying to give you guys a better product. And that's
You said $7,700, is that what you said, Kurt?
I think they did 7,000, they just,
Rounded it off.
yeah. I think they did.
I don't see where matching the county would hurt us.
I was gonna say, since it's such a small volume, that is at least better.
I think the price seems awful high at 9,000 or something, because I know what it takes to start a business, it's not cheap.
Do we have any further comment from the public?
Just like she's coming.
I just want to say, things are moving to our community and want to open business, buy business, kudos.
And I would like to commend you for taking on that restaurant, because it was my daughter and son-in-law that opened it up as me casino. So I know what kind of a headache it can be, and I know what kind of good feeling you get from doing it. So I commend you on that. Do we have a motion from the council? Does the council have any?
I would make a motion that we match the county's price for restaurant licenses.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion to match the county of $7,000 for the restaurant license, liquor license for Hot Springs. And we have a second. Are there any other comments?
Is this just a 12-month license, or what is this? Just curious.
Just business, isn't it?
One-time license fee for the restaurant license.
You have to pay a percentage on their booth every month, so.
Now, if the restaurant changes hands, they have to reapply again, or how's that?
The transfer, liquor license transfer statutes would apply for us. So going forward, it all falls back into the same renewal process as the other licenses do. Her option was a beer license, malt beverage license, on-off sale, and/or adding a wine license if she would have wanted to go that route. She was interested in providing a quality experience.
Can anybody explain to you the percentage you have to pay on the alcohol and beer now, every month? 10% for alcohol and 7% for beer, for malt beverages?
I would like to add one more thing, having been connected with the Me Casino restaurant. They did try the wine license because they were going to do all kinds of wine margaritas and all these fancy drinks. Believe me, it didn't go. It did not work. People did not enjoy wine margaritas.
If you're, I was in the same business, and actually I'm a Mexican myself, to be honest with you, I've been off that job already, I'm retired now, so I've been, but, I have to agree with you. If you're gonna go with authentic drinks to enhance your dining, I would not cut it short, because it won't pay off. If you're gonna do this, bite the bullet and go with the business.
So we currently have a motion on the table with a second to match the county at $7,000. Do we need to do a roll call vote?
Does anybody have any qualms with it?
I second it.
Voting on setting the price now, or are we voting
It's the
on?
setting of the price for the liquor license, the restaurant liquor license
For her to have.
for her to have.
So it's setting the price and issuing the license to,
If she wants to pay that amount.
And then do we have to do a separate motion
To accept her.
to accept her application?
She wants it, that's probably the
if she
difference.
wants it, you probably should do a separate motion here. Yeah.
Okay.
So set the rate and then do a motion on the restaurant license.
So let's go ahead and vote on the rate. Roll call.
Burris,
Yes.
Grimes,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes.
Norton,
Yes.
Romy,
Yes.
Tisher,
Yes.
Winga,
No.
Ashley,
Yes.
motion carries.
And now we need a motion to
see if she wants it first.
No, we've already set that part of it. We now have, the motion to, can you pronounce the name of the restaurant? Buendia.
She should have a choice on whether she wants to go
That's
ahead
what I
with that
said.
license at that rate.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
Okay. So
I
now we
make
need
a
a
motion
motion.
that we
Except,
give her the liquor license.
that's second.
So we have a motion and a second to give her the liquor license and do another roll call, please.
Grimes,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes.
Norton,
Yes.
Romy,
Yes.
Tesher,
Yes.
Wienia,
Yes.
Ashley,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
unanimous.
Congratulations.
No, well, we only charge you $7,000, and I spend our food when you show up there. They charge me $7,000.
One interesting comment during the parades here a couple weeks ago, she was out front handing out samples of what her tacos might be. So if you were one of the lucky ones that passed by, you were able to.
Ooh, I didn't
have
get
a
down
test.
there, and that's where we were gonna sit.
Free steak and chicken tacos, and my husband made some cilantro lime rice.
Oh.
It's really, really fun. Meeting with people, July 26th next week.
Valerie?
I was just gonna tell you, if you're gonna serve alcohol, you should have your employees trained as responsible members.
We're gonna go with Tam.
And I can do the TAM training for free.
You can do it?
Yeah, and you don't have to pay for being here, it's gonna be good for 4 years. Yeah. Just give me.
Initial word, free.
To make it free, so people would do it.
Good. Well, I'm glad that got taken care of too. Welcome to Hot Springs.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
So now I need, going into the agenda, I need a motion to appoint Rod Reynolds on the cemetery board running through 2016.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second.
Well, I have kind of a question, you know, he's hired up there to dig all the graves, so I don't know, maybe that looks kind of, to me, it's kind of a conflict of interest. You got the guy on the board, and he's the one that does all the digging. Maybe they don't have a problem, I don't know, I guess I don't know how many people they have on the board.
I don't know, Marla, can you answer that?
They have 7 people on the board, I believe.
He's in the, pardon?
Ken Thompson.
Mortuary, mortician is on there.
Jan Weiser, Kate Walker.
Maybe it's not a problem, I don't know, I
and
just,
Joe Bartolome's wife, I think. Mark.
Are, just as a question, are you?
just kind of a question, I mean, that to
No,
me.
well, I got a question for you. Are you concerned with possible charges, him voting on charges or anything like that, or?
I don't know how all that's set.
Still has to go through us, don't it?
Yes. And if something comes up, we can always ask him to abstain for professionalism. Anything that's gonna incur a profit towards him or his business. Would that make you feel better with that?
Yep.
But we still get to review all that stuff in the center.
So do we have a motion and a second?
Yes.
All in favor of accepting Ron Reynolds as a member of the board? Vote yea or nay.
Yay.
Anyone against? Motion carried. Looking under personnel, we have Jay Miles coming back to the city with maintenance operator 3, full-time at $12.38 an hour. We need a motion to accept him being hired to the city.
I got a question first. I thought he said he wouldn't accept it unless it is $12.50 an hour.
We sent that rate out, and I didn't hear back from Billy, so he said he was gonna visit with them and get it. let me
So
know
should
if
we
there's a problem.
wait before we do this, see if he's even gonna accept the job.
If he doesn't accept it, we'll just hire somebody else at the next meeting.
Well, I'm kinda confused, how many people have we hired at this point? So I thought we had hired 2 guys part-time and 1 guy full-time already.
Yep, and we've lost 2 of those already.
We hired that full-time guy for the street.
We've hired 1, they were all part-time people that we hired for the summer.
What happened to that full-time guy that lived on 71 that Billy was gonna hire for the streets?
Obviously, he didn't hire.
Yeah, but last I heard, he said, Harley's office said he's gonna hire him, so I'm just curious.
The pay has restricted some of the applicants once they heard what our pay range is. We start at we have a base rate and we start at a reduced rate and give some consideration for experience. But we usually start at 80% of the base rate.
I guess I'm still confused, so none of those guys took the jobs? Is that what you're saying?
2 of the part-timers did and they quit.
Who were they?
He hired John Wishard at $8 and Glenn Shaney at $8
They quit already?
part-time.
They
No,
quit? Oh,
There's one of the part-timers quit this week or last week.
Jeremiah Green quit. He was one of the kids at
And he
$7.25
wasn't.
an hour.
When he was a kid, he was just a summer help.
Right.
Now, all of these are summer help or temporary help.
Was Jay Miles won't be there?
No, Jay Miles was the first full-time to replace, we moved Lori up into John Graff's position at the cemetery, which opened up a position at the street department for mostly street sweeping.
So I need a motion to hire Jay Miles as a maintenance reoperator at $12.38 an hour. Do I have a motion?
I'll second.
Motion by Dwight, seconded by Georgia. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Under old business, we have airport electricity. Anybody want to address that, or?
Well, they told us they'll still do it for $4,700. That was an old bid from last year, but he said he'd honor it. And we have 2 hangars that's gonna hook up to it. And they said that they'd give us a substantial amount to hook up to it, so it's more or less gonna pretty much be covered.
And Black Hills Power and Light also said that if we have additional users, we
Get all
do
that
have
money
some
back.
interest in another hangar or 2 being built out there and have additional meters hung, that we would get a rebate on that $4,700.
So if we do this, we could virtually wash it out,
Yep.
Yes,
pay it out, but get it back in.
yes.
Yep.
With the exception of the labor for us to dig the ditch.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we'd be providing the ditch as the city and the sand for the bedding.
And did we find out that we have a trencher?
We don't need
We
a
have a
trencher.
trencher, but.
Backhoe.
We have a trencher.
We just, but they made, BHP requires a backhoe.
Backhoe?
Yeah, but there's specific depths and widths and I have all the specs that we have to meet.
Craig, that was rerouting the way we discussed.
Yeah.
So do we have an motion to?
I make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Under new business, we have Fowler County accepted the low bid from Nelson Oil and Gas for 8,000 gallons of number 2 diesel at 3.189 a gallon. That's just for informational purposes. Committee reports, I'm gonna have Georgia do the administrative promotion.
Carl and I looked at quite a few of what two operators, we increased 3.5%, so it's up to 17.91. Our library clerk, we increased that up 3% up to 11.89 per hour. The street foreman would be 3%, 19.77 per hour. Street mechanic, 3% up to 15.42 per hour. And police chief by 3% up to 24.48.
And there's a question on that, so we're holding that on right now.
And then police administrative assistant from, to do cleaning and testing for drugs. We increased that up to 15.29 per hour.
And that's additional duties to what she's doing now would be the cleaning and testing for
We're
drug
paying-
testing.
Yeah, we're paying right now for someone to come in and clean, so actually we're pretty good at getting that price. Also, the clubhouse manager, we have increased because of hours, and for 3 years up, I guess it's at 28.318 now, and we increased it to 29,801.31 for 3 years, and 30,695.35 cents for the next 2 years. We have it scaled down, or scaled up. For our golf course superintendent, we did kind of the same thing. Next 2 years, 4.5%, and then it went from,
Following 3 years would be
yeah,
that.
3 years would be 22, 28 for 20.90 or 2,090 hours, and up to 46,562.90 for 3 years. After 3 years, 46,562.90 with a 4.5% increase, which would be 48,658.23, and that would be for 2 years more, every 2 years. Public Works foreman, we don't have a real good handle on that one because there's none that we can compare to. What we did is we took average wage for South Dakota at an entry level and their current salary, and then we did a median, and we tried to come up so that they're compared to other towns with the same type of services that we offer, so that we can bring them up to a good salary that we can keep good employees. And so we're working on that one, so the public works one until we still work on it.
So just to make this a little bit clearer, these are recommendations that we are going to take to the mayor, and for him to either accept or reject, and possibly bring them around to the council to have the council authorize them. But these are projected.
And so they'll be down there if
Wouldn't
anybody
these
wants
be
to look
like
at
budget
it.
items?
Yeah.
Yes. Something new in the budget.
I think we ought to just do 3% across the board. I won't go along with that.
So, as far as you are right now, the total increase for this coming year would be what?
We don't have that.
We
number
haven't
right
got
now.
it told right now.
Are these based on comparisons with other
Yes,
communities?
when we looked at all the salaries or wages, basically we tried to find a city that had comparative type things that we do, and what they come in as an entry level, and then what the median average would be, so that we're low on a lot of these, and we need to bring them up so that we compare.
And it would also be based on their population
Right,
versus our population.
right. So
Yeah, but if you look at you guys' thing here, our librarian's been here, 2 years, and everybody else had like 28, 5 years, and 12 years. So it's kind of hard to justify that.
It's hard because you have to look at a lot of different situations and the way it is, but we did look at everything that we could possibly compare it to. And our goal is to bring those people up to a better salary.
And like you said, these are just recommendations that are being made by the admin and promo.
And it's
You
possible,
don't
not
think
set in
Bill
stone.
should have raises
and
this
it's
year?
possible that we'll do
You
3%
don't.
later,
I don't.
No, you don't get a raise.
Oh, I don't want one. I make too much money now.
Well,
I love my
but
job.
it's possible that we'll do a 3% later.
No, I
Right
think we
now, we
wait
need
till
to bring
budget
them
time and we actually figure out what we have for money to work with. But I definitely think a 3% for all the employees. Well, I'm not gonna say all, but I mean, we've been stalling off a lot of these employees for a couple of years now. We're
3
trying to
years.
get the money caught up.
This is the 4th year.
And there's some of these, there's no way I'm gonna go along with them, I'm gonna tell you right now. But some of them I would go along with. But we gotta do something for the people that ain't making $20 an hour.
Well,
I mean,
we're going to be looking at comments from council with regard to this.
This
I'm sure
just-
that the mayors.
Yeah, just information for everybody to look at it right now.
I think some emphasis ought to be put on the employees that have to get up in the middle of the night on main breaks and
Yeah.
sewer line breaks and stuff like that.
I don't know whether we have, at this point in time, the after-hours figures.
It's just overtime now.
It's
time
just
and a half,
overtime.
You know.
But there's no late hour called for 4 hours and get paid for 2 and you're only out there 1 or whatever.
Well, yeah, there's 2 hour show-up time.
There is.
Yeah.
So, like I said, these are just recommendations that are.
Just kick that around.
Yeah.
About it, that, you know, because that needs looked at, because we're having a heck of a time finding operators and people that want to stay around.
That's right.
And that's
Dig
what we
holes and
felt we
fix
needed to
them.
do some work on these for that reason. The other thing we did is we looked at getting organizational charts, and everybody has a copy of that, and how it flows. And so we need comments from the council on that. I have to say Sarah did a lot of work for us while she was there in the office before she went down to Evans Blanchard. She did a lot of this work for us. The other thing that we did look at were the code of ethics, and you have a copy of that for you in your packet for council members. And I'd like to hear back pros and cons on each and every one of them. If you have something that you like or don't like, I'd like to hear from you. I don't know, I hope that everybody got a chance to pick one up and put it in, but these are issues that, says it's to keep the city council to serve, this is to serve as a guide to the official city of Hot Springs council members. It's to remind us what our jobs are, basically, and I know that the city, our municipal league will be coming out with some guidelines on a lot of these things, but every professional has a code of ethics that they go by. And whether it's the Board of Education, if you're a professional, maybe I have one for being a medical technologist. It's what you do so that you can actually get things accomplished without offending your fellow council members, board members, whatever, or employees, fellow people that you work with.
I believe the state already has a set of,
And it has some new ones
Conduct of
coming
ethics.
out. What I'm asking from you, Wes, is to read it, and I want you to
Already have?
comment back to me.
already have.
I mean, I want you to comment to me what you like or don't like about it.
I just don't like duplication of government.
Georgia?
Yes?
I have seen all the different versions of the code of conduct. The last one that we brought before the council was basically just South Dakota codified law, because everything else nobody wanted. And I would really urge community members and the council to look at the second one you had and maybe look at what areas they didn't like and maybe modify that. But that one had a lot more things that us as citizens, us as professionals who also have code of conducts, have to adhere to. You know, it's just be good to thy neighbor type stuff. So I would, that last one was, had been deleted down to nothing. So I would really urge the council to look at the one prior to that. think I brought it up at a previous meeting, it was April 15th, I think is the last one.
And I encourage all the public, that is the basic, we are your stewards, you need to tell us what you need. And for everybody to comment back to us.
Is that kind of like the Ten Commandments? Shouldn't you all adhere to that?
Do other agencies and agencies in the city have code of conduct?
Yes, I have one from the police department, I have one from the library. So we are actually governing quite a few that have codes of ethics.
Doesn't it make sense for the city council, who's over the top of those that have their code of conduct, to have one too?
Like I just told you, Tim, the state already has one in place for us. They already have one. So I mean, we just keep duplicating. That's what's wrong with government. We just duplicate what's already there for us.
We
It just-
probably need to have a copy of it.
That's why I say, look at the difference between the last one, which is state law, and the one before that.
Is it being followed? That's the thing.
Yeah, the state law one says you can bully any citizen, do whatever you want.
Oh, it
The other
does
one,
not.
Basically.
No, it don't,
And there's
Valerie.
nothing in that's the last one that says you should be courteous to people.
Does law enforcement have a code of conduct over the whole state?
There is code of ethics for the law enforcement over
Okay,
the whole
then
state. South
the
Dakota
city
State,
of Hot
yes.
Springs has one
Yes.
too, right? Every kind of,
We're trying to, we never would adopt one, is what
Really?
I'm trying to say, is we need to.
isn't there
adopt-
different things
Yeah.
from Sioux Falls to, over here, I mean, you know, on the west side? Isn't there different things you could apply or different ethics?
Rapid City, I know they have adopted one recently, and I feel like that City of Hot Springs should do that to say that we are also trying to improve our ethics in our town. And the only way we're gonna do that is to start following something that is printed in front of us that we can look at. And that's what I'm asking right now. I want comments and input from all the council so we can actually do what we say we're gonna do.
Anything else from admin?
No, that's all I had.
On Public Works, White?
These in-house sewer projects in town, we got a lot of small areas that need fixed. And we started out with a policy of assessing these homeowners $5,000. And Harley okayed digging the line all the way into the people's houses. And we got a lot of guff over that from contractors. City equipment shouldn't be on private property. So we're gonna change that policy to $4,000 assessment, and then the people can hire whoever they want to dig the line from their property line to their house. We looked at a public safety issue that Craig had brought up on the Almond Street drainage project up there, and Tracy has drawn up some plans for a drainage system up there, because we do have a pretty big issue when it rains up there. We talked about spraying the weeds that are growing up in the cracks of a lot of the streets in town. And we looked at contracting that out, or, because I believe we don't have anyone qualified to spray that works for the city right now, even though we have spraying equipment. And talked about the main break by the ambulance center and the need of better supervision when we hire these contractors to come in and backfill, because it was a backfilling issue that caused that main break. So that's all I got.
Dwight, I have a question. When you guys do alleys and stuff, do you guys put bonding agent when they reblade the alleyways?
Do we what?
Do they put like a bonding thing or something?
You
Bonding?
mean like oil?
Yeah,
No.
I thought they used to put bonding agent in alleys so that
If
it
they
wash
were
out.
millings, if they were kind of blacktop, then it helps to put a bonding agent in,
But we don't.
base
as
course,
anyone.
you know.
Just curious.
Public Safety, Craig Romaine.
We had a short meeting. Police report, we didn't have one. BJ's on vacation, so I guess he's the only one that does it. temporary liquor license, we talked about a fence for the designated area for people to drink in. And if we do that, we're gonna have to do everything. You know, I mean, the street dance, the derby, all that stuff.
Utilizing the.
Yeah, yeah. Talked about KSK blocking off the alley. There's a map at City Hall that they had, if anybody wants to look at it. We got okay from the police department and stuff, so we gave them permission to do that for 1 day, 2 days, Friday and Saturday. Black Hills Power, we talked about that here, about the power going in out to the thing. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Cultural recreation, West Grimes.
Yeah, we had a meeting and I'm gonna touch on Dwight's thing there with those weeds. I guess the city's gonna have to take a stand here, I guess. If we're not capable of spraying our own weeds and stuff, maybe we need to hire Chemlon or, I don't know, another company to come in and start spraying, because it's kind of getting a little pathetic. I mean, up at our library, we've got those rock features and they're full of weeds. And I mean, it's pathetic. We talked about all the cactus up there at Butler Park. I mean, that just goes hand in hand with that spraying. I mean, we got to start taking care of some of these issues. I talked to Jerry about the fountain at the park, and I guess there's been money set in there for this water fountain. And I don't know why it hasn't been done or why it isn't being done, because there's money there. And then we discussed maybe putting some picnic tables down at the depot, some nicer picnic tables, and maybe getting rid of the bushes out back and actually cleaning it up down there. Yeah, I guess that's about it.
Thank you.
I got a little something. I was contacted by a gentleman the other day with concerns about a dog park. We need to get together and talk about that some more. But he told me that they had fencing available and volunteers to help put it up. If we designate an area, find a place to do that.
Another thing is those doggy bags. Nobody's still putting them out, so I guess we're gonna have to figure out who's supposed to be doing it, why they ain't doing it. They're just not doing it. So if that's an employee issue, I guess we're gonna have to deal with it.
Thank you, Wes. Administrator and Finance Officer report, Harley.
Just wanted to mention that the Department of Environment and Natural Resources has presented the City of Hot Springs with an Excellence in Drinking Water Award. It's for 1 decade of dedicated service from the state to the City of Hot Springs employees. So congratulations goes out to the Water Department for 2003 through 2012 Excellence in Drinking Water. Congratulations go out, that's all that.
Kudos to our team.
Didn't put it on the agenda and maybe should have, but cleanup week, the 22nd. So next week, July, we're gonna do cleanup week again. If anybody has anything, it's out to the landfill and they'll be helped unload if need be, but we'll do Monday through Friday until 3 p.m. each day, 8 till 3.
Same rules apply as the last time.
Same rules apply, things have to be separated, no tires.
No tires.
No tires this time around.
Electronics have to be separated. And rubble, the rest is gonna be rubble. No household damage.
Can I bring a 72-inch prep cooler?
I'm sorry.
Can I bring a 72-inch prep cooler that doesn't work?
Pretty much
Sorry,
all of that.
thrower now, you're fine.
As long as you have it evacuated,
Yeah.
you can take it to,
The Freon out of it.
and the company does that here in town usually is Nelson's Oil and Gas. You can call them, they do that for you.
Or appliance electronics outlet does it also.
Okay, Bill.
Bill?
Air conditioning now?
Sure.
Yeah,
Bill.
Bill can do it.
Anybody that's a certified air conditioning or free home.
Recovery.
There's usually a charge to that, but once you have that done, you can take it to them.
Jim Brody in town here can do it, he's probably your cheapest.
Jim Brody? That's next week?
It starts next Monday for 5 days. It runs once every 2 months.
Anything else, Harley?
No, sir.
And since we don't have a mayor here tonight, we won't have a mayor's report. So I'll need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved, second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor? So any opposed? Take a 5-minute break or so. I don't think we'll have anything to move on afterwards. Mr. Newspaper Man, we won't be making any.
Oh, I knew he was gonna get this. I knew he was gonna be good.